Women educators are natural givers, pouring into their students, their families, and communities. But what about pouring into you? This is the Educator Sanctuary, where we help you ditch the guilt and unapologetically put yourself at the top of your list. I'm Dr. Leah, educator, mindset coach, and your guide to creating a life where you align with your purpose and reclaim your power. So if you're ready to set boundaries and step fully into the woman you're meant to be, you're definitely in the right place. Let's get into it. Hey, and welcome back to the Educator Sanctuary, where we have big conversations, mindset shifts, personal growth, and all the things that help us live more intentionally. Whether you are a mom, a teacher, community leader, or just a woman holding space for others, this show is for you. Now today, I don't know if you paid attention to the title, and I do not know who this message is for, but this came up in a few different conversations for me this week with various people. And so I know that there is a message in here for someone. Whether you are navigating life's transitions, whether you are wrestling with what it looks like to grow, to get healthy, or to become a version of yourself that you have never met before, what I've learned is a lot of us are attempting to do the exact same thing, or we're trying to grow past who we are, or we're trying to get to that next level in our life in the same spaces where we're already uncomfortable, or the spaces that we were already broken in. Whether that is the same home, whether that is the same friend circle, whether that is the same job, whether it is the same routine, it feels impossible to move forward. And if you're wondering why you're taking 10 steps forward and you feel like you keep slipping back into the same old habits, the same old wounds, the same old memories, the same old survival strategies, it's because the familiar, as we call it, it keeps us safe, it keeps us comfortable, but it is one of the most dangerous places to be, because when you're trying to heal in a place that broke you or that does not support you, your mind does not forget, and it becomes impossible to move forward. The bottom line is you cannot heal in the same environment that broke you. Now, this is my personal story, but I do feel that I need to share it because I think someone else is going to feel seen and heard through this story. There was a season very recently, a few years back, where I was trying so hard to evolve. 2020, that was the year. I was not completely happy. I thought that I should have been in a better place in life, in a lot of areas of my life. And I'm telling you, there was just something special about the world shutting down and not moving, because it allowed me to go within. It allowed me to read more. It allowed me to pray more. It allowed me to connect with people that I probably would have never connected to had we just kept going. It allowed me to become more whole, more rooted, and more true to myself. However, there were some setbacks, and setback because I kept trying to do more and evolve around the exact same people who kept reminding me of who I was and wondering why I was changing, or saying that I thought that I was better, or wondering why the life that I had wasn't good enough, or that I was being ungrateful. I was trying to evolve around the same people who didn't even show up for me when I needed them the most. Now, they weren't bad people, but they absolutely were people who did not know how to support me, or maybe they weren't willing to, or maybe they were used to the version of me that made it easy for them to be around me. Even on social media, I was on Facebook, and Facebook just became a place where it was the same old stuff every single day. It became boring, a place where people just wanted to post pictures to show off, but nobody was really doing anything. And they certainly were not supporting me. A lot of times I felt like I was putting in a lot of effort and time and attention into business ventures where I felt like people should have supported me. But instead, what I saw them do was support everyone except me. Hey, Educator Sanctuary listeners. Are you a homeschooling mom or thinking about it, but feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or maybe unsure how to confidently guide your child's learning journey? Maybe you're craving time for self-care, rest, or just a break, but you feel like you're doing it all on your own without anyone to turn to for help. Let me introduce you to Purpose Prep Academy, an online and in-person STEAM micro school for learners in grades K-8. Purpose Prep Academy isn't just any school. It's a space where young minds are nurtured, empowered, and taught to lead with confidence, curiosity, and purpose. Purpose Prep Academy focuses on providing students with the academic tools they need while fostering personal growth to help them thrive both inside and outside the classroom. At Purpose Prep Academy, they offer personalized learning, foster critical thinking, and provide real-world applications to help students become 21st century leaders and change makers. If you're looking for a program that can help you reclaim your time, give you peace of mind, or simply give your child a space to thrive, Purpose Prep Academy could be exactly what you've been looking for. Want to learn more? Visit purposeprepacademy.org to schedule a virtual meeting or an experience day and find out if Purpose Prep Academy is the right fit for your family. I started to feel very much invisible. I started to doubt myself. I started to question whether I even had what it took to be successful. And at some point, not immediately, it took a couple of years, I got off. And I said, I'm not going to be on this anymore. I'm not going to post as much anymore. I'm not going to share what I am doing because I didn't want to be in a space where I felt like I was asking too much or being too much, or a space where what I was building didn't seem special. The doubt just began to grow. And before I knew it, I had shrunk. I started playing small. I started hiding the parts of me that people thought were too big or too bold or too different. Not because I didn't believe in myself, but because I didn't feel supported enough around the people who I thought should be believing in me. And that was the moment that I realized this is not a space that I can be in. This is not a space that I can grow in. This is not a space that I can heal in. I am trying to pour light into a room that keeps closing the curtains on me. And that's when I realized that I had to make a change. Emotionally, physically, mentally. I had to find a new space. I knew that I needed to be in different rooms with different people who were going on the same path as I was, where I didn't have to shrink to survive. And that even spilled over into my physical life at home, where things were not working for me anymore. My relationship was no longer what I wanted it to be or needed it to be. I was absolutely putting more into something than I was getting out of it. And I kept trying to make things work, and it just wasn't. It was literally almost like putting, what did they say, a square peg in a round hole. And I was just tired. I was tired of living in my hometown. I was tired of driving around the same streets. I got tired of going to the same church. I got tired of just trying to fit in where I clearly no longer fit. I was trying to force my environment to adapt to this new person that I was becoming instead of just changing and going into an environment that was already made for me. Not long after this, I eventually decided that I was going to make the decision to live for me. And honestly, one of the questions that helped me change was when I initially separated before I got divorced, and I was speaking with my therapist, and she said, what parts of your life are you living because of the choices you made? And what parts of your life are you living because you're basing it off of the expectations of other people? She said, if you were only living for you and you didn't have to worry about a spouse or friends or kids or church, what would your life look like? Where would you live? What would your house look like? What would you drive? And when she asked me those questions, honestly, I had felt like my entire 20 years to date had been a lie because I wasn't doing anything that I wanted to do. I was doing everything based on either a spouse or children or church. Nothing that I was doing was because it was what I wanted to do. And it really broke me to know that I had lived so long living for everyone else and not me. So I packed up and I moved 1,200 miles away from everything and everyone I had known. And the only thing that was left was me and God. There were people who questioned why I did it and wondering, why didn't you move closer to family? But the truth is, I felt like I was on an assignment to fully heal, and to do that, I didn't need any reminders of who was going to be judging me. I didn't need reminders of who didn't support me or who I thought should support me. I didn't need expectations from anyone, because if I had all of those things, then I was still going to be in my body and in my mind and in my spirit disappointed about the outcomes of things that didn't go the way that I thought they should have gone from the people that I thought should be there for me. Now, that is a very drastic change, and I am not asking anybody to do that. This is something that I needed, and it's something that's working for me. God has been the figure that I have been able to lean on, and I have been learning so much more about myself by being drawn closer to Him. Even better, I'm in a place where I didn't know anybody, and yet He has still sent me the right people at the right places at the right time with the right resources in this season where I have been able to get through so much. And for that, I am so grateful. And part of what transpired this entire conversation is that I was speaking with someone recently, and she was telling me about her story, and it sounded so much similar to mine. So similar that our spouses' names were the exact same, which was very weird. And she told me that she felt like she was in this area because she was on assignment from healing, and she knew that it wasn't her forever place. And I said the same thing. I know that I'm here on an assignment. And I know that living in this area, I may be here for a few years, but I do not feel like this is going to be the place where I permanently decide to retire. Now, I'm not saying that you need to do anything as drastic as me, like picking up and moving 1,200 miles away. But I am saying that healing rarely happens in the place that broke you. Whether that is a relationship, whether that's a job, or even an identity that you have adapted to. If your environment no longer matches the level of healing you're trying to walk in, then every day is going to feel like a fight for you. So as you think about your life, I'm going to ask you a few questions that I want you to think about. And one of those questions is, what are you trying to fix in your life, yet you're sticking to the comfort? What parts of your life make you feel small, whether it's a person or a place or a thing? And who are you, who are you inging for? And I know that's not a word, but I mean, who are you trying for? Who are you shrinking for? Who are you explaining for? Who are you adjusting your life for? Hoping that one day that they're going to understand or even give you their approval for your life, for improving your life. What would it look like if you were to choose a new space? Even if that was just a new mental space in your life, a new emotional space in your life, or drastically a physical space, and start again. Because sometimes healing sounds like, this just isn't working for me anymore. And you know what? That is absolutely okay. A lot of times I feel like we accept things and situations because we don't want to let down other people. So you choose to let down yourself. And that's just not the way it should be. trying to change your environment, or at least should I say, trying to force your environment to change so that the new you can fit in it, is what I call trying to do the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. And I learned a long time ago that that's called insanity. There's also a quote that says, nothing changes if nothing changes. Literally 4 words, 2 of them repeated. But it is so powerful. Nothing changes if nothing changes. A lot of us are trying to force people, relationships, environments, jobs, and situations to adapt to what we wish they could be, when the truth is that the change actually starts within you in order for it to show up in the environment outside of you. So your homework is to take about 10 minutes to write out everything that no longer feels aligned with the version of you today. And when I say write it down, I mean just write it. Don't judge it. Don't edit it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Just be true and honest and ask yourself, where have I been shrinking in order to stay? And then ask, what would it look like if I took up space somewhere new? And again, this could be mental, physically, spiritually, emotionally, whatever you need this. And you don't have to have everything figured out right now. You really just need to get clear on what's not working. And from there, you will start to get the courage of what will work. That said, I am positive that this is not just for me and it's not just for you. There is someone you know that has been feeling the weight of needing to make a big move, whether it's emotionally, spiritually, mentally, or physically. And if you are the person, or if you know that person, let this be a confirmation that it's okay to choose you. Also, choose them by sending them this message and saying, hey, I thought of you when I listened to this, and I hope that it blesses you like it blesses me. Maybe share this with 5 or 10 people, because I know that we all know someone that doesn't feel like they're in the best place in their lives and they don't know how to get there. We can help them by sharing this message. I personally love everything about you and everything about who you're becoming, and I hope that you love that for you too. But until next time, take up space, shine big, and do not apologize for it. Talk soon. Thank you for joining me in the Educator Sanctuary, where we create a space for women educators to reclaim their power and prioritize themselves unapologetically. If you've loved what you've heard, please do not forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with other amazing women who need to hear this message. Until next time, remember, you are capable, you are powerful, and you are absolutely worthy. You've got this. Talk soon.